Well, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
We use it more and more now than we ever did back then.
After many days with extreme heat, the Texas power grid is being questioned. What CPS Energy is doing to help customers conserve energy.
A rescue underway right now in Turkey for an American researcher trapped in a cave. How long rescuers are saying it could be until he's out.
And looking out there with live cam, starting at 81 degrees. Not too bad for now, but we have been breaking records left and right. Still hopeful with what we may see this weekend.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I don't think it's going to happen, right? But we'll see here in just a bit. Good morning. It's Friday, September 8th. Welcome to Good Morning San Antonio.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you've had a good week so far. It's been a hot one for the most part, and we are hoping for a little bit relief, if not by the weekend, maybe next week.
Yeah, we got to wait a couple of days before that, just because today things are definitely going to be peaking as we head on into the weekend. So it's been hot the past few days, and today is just going to be blisteringly hot. Somebody left that right there.
It took you all of 1 minute.
Congrats.
Took him all of 1 minute
Congrats
to bring that
with
up.
your team.
Anybody say 21-20?
Good job.
Wow.
Pardon me, I'm going to be annoying all day about Lions. Anyway, we've got a lot of clear skies out there. It's actually a bit more comfortable this morning than the past couple of mornings, just because the humidity is down. 83 degrees. We're still way above normal. A good 10 on average, 10 degrees above normal. But these numbers, dew points, remember yesterday, the past couple of days, they've been up around 74, 5, 6, 7 degrees or so. Now we're in the lower 70s. Still pretty humid out there, but anything does help with that. We do still have a heat index. Yeah, it does still feel like 90 at Canyon Lake, 87 out there at the airport. And we'll drop down a couple of more degrees over the course of the next few hours. Mold and pigweed are both on the low side. Once again, it is a yellow day to conserve. Scan that QR code, find out ways to conserve energy later on this afternoon. And again, with those blisteringly high temperatures, the power grid is going to be just pushed to almost the limit later on today. The heat advisories we've had the past couple of days have now been bumped up into excessive heat warnings, San Antonio, Atascosa County up 35, going out 10, and even some heat advisories in portions of the hill country. Temperature this morning will drop down to 80. That's it. And then add 25 to that, 105. That is going to be a new record. Yesterday we set a new record high temperature. And of course, for football tonight, it is going to be really hot. We'll be right around 101 at kickoff, 96 degrees right around halftime. Not much of a breeze out there. Humidity is going to be okay, but still just ridiculously hot. Still hot a weekend, but we do have some rain chances and improving rain chances. We'll still look at next week, and that's looking promising. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, RJ.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Concern is growing over just how stable the Texas power grid is after continued days of extreme heat.
CPS Energy says their Sustainable Tomorrow Energy Plan is helping to save energy usage across San Antonio.
Our Avery Everett wanted to see just how effective the demand response program is with CPS Energy and how customers across the city are finding ways to conserve.
To be honest, we're probably fearful every single day.
It's a feeling shared by many in San Antonio right now.
Every day we are manning and positioning ourselves to be in a position to respond to different events or triggers that might happen 24/7, 365.
With warnings of the potential for controlled power outages across the state, CPS Energy says it's working overtime to get customers to conserve energy. Its demand response program is a part of that effort.
We use it more and more now than we ever did back then.
The demand response program has three options: a Wi-Fi thermostat rewards program where CPS can control a customer's thermostat during peak demand times, the Power Player program where customers get emails and phone calls to conserve, and the commercial program to cut back energy usage.
When city and county officials sounded the alarm about the potential of controlled outages, I wanted to see just how effective CPS's demand response program was during that time. And they reported that they saved enough power within that program to power 46,000 households. But officials say here at CPS Energy, that's still not enough to cancel out all grid concerns.
We're trying to find a way to engage every customer to get them to save energy.
We're told more than 150,000 thermostats are connected to the Wi-Fi thermostats reward program. But some CPS customers say they haven't even heard of demand response.
Honestly, I've never have.
No, ma'am, I have not, honestly.
But they still say they're finding ways to conserve in their own homes.
We are on a budget, so what we do is we try to maintain the electricity, we try to keep the lights off during the day.
It's up to us as a consumer and then up to us as the utility to figure out how we continue to bring that awareness.
The utility says it's a step toward relieving an already stressed power grid. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
In your morning headlines, rescuers are working to help an American who is trapped in the third deepest cave in Turkey. The Turkish Caving Federation says Mark Dickey was part of a research team exploring the Morka sinkhole. Now, earlier this week, he developed some gastrointestinal bleeding 3,600 feet deep into that cave. The Federation says it will take days to get him out on a stretcher because of the narrow, winding passages. For reference, it would take an experienced caver a full 15 hours to reach the surface in ideal conditions.
Ukraine has begun shipping grain through Croatian seaports after exploring alternative shipping routes since Russia pulled out of an in-Turkey grain deal back in July. The original plan allowed Ukrainian ships to bypass a Russian blockade of Ukraine's Black Sea ports and navigate safe passage through Turkey in order to reach global markets.
First experiment to produce oxygen on another planet comes to an end on Mars after exceeding NASA's initial goals. The experiment also demonstrates capabilities that could help future astronauts explore the red planet. The microwave-sized device called MOXIE works by converting some of Mars's plentiful carbon dioxide into oxygen. MOXIE has generated 122 grams of oxygen, which is equal to what a small dog would breathe in 10 hours. That's according to NASA.
All right, we're getting things going on your Friday morning to wrap up your work week. 4:36 right now and 81 degrees outside, Stephanie.
Not too bad. And treating yourself to a nice self-care day may include getting your nails done. But it is important to know about the safety precautions surrounding it. After the break, what you can do to avoid a nail infection.
All right, and taking our first look at TransGuide traffic cameras, you can see we do have what we believe is an overturned vehicle there at I-35 at Topper Wine. We're following the very latest on this. I believe these are the southbound lanes of 35. We'll give you updates as we move along on our 4:30 half hour.
And let's look out there with a live cam. Again, not too bad this morning. 81 degrees, we'll take it. However, it's going to get pretty hot today, so prepare for triple digits this afternoon. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 4:40. So some of us love getting pedicures, but certain nail treatments can be dangerous to your health if not handled properly.
That's right. Mandy Gaither with CNN explains how to avoid an infection at the nail salon.
A pampering pedicure can help melt the stress away. But before you get your toes done, do your research.
Potential dangers for pedicures can include infection of the toenail area. It can include infection of the skin around the toenail.
Podiatrist Joy Rowland with Cleveland Clinic says to keep feet healthy, be aware of 3 types of infection: fungal like athlete's foot, bacterial of the toenail or toenail unit, and viral like plantar warts.
If you end up getting an infection of any one of these things, it can progress and cause more serious infection.
Rowland says the first thing to do is to pre-screen the salon. Make sure instruments are sterilized.
You want to make sure that in between clients, the bowls are being disinfected.
She says proper technique matters. Cutting toenails too short can result in an ingrown toenail or infection. When it comes to callus removal, skip the metal scraper, which can cut into the skin, and skip shaving, which can also create cuts.
You want to wait at least 24 hours before you go to the salon and without shaving your legs.
Signs of infection include whiteness of the toenail, yellow, flaky, or crumbly nail, redness, pinkness, or swelling of the nail. See a doctor if you have any of these symptoms. Rowland also recommends giving your toes a break.
Wait for another 1 or 2 weeks and let your toenails essentially breathe.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Time now is 4:41 and 81 degrees for now.
Yeah, interesting information there from the salon. So after the break, the United Auto Workers Union threatening to go on strike if a deal isn't made for better pay and a 32-hour work week. What could happen to the U.S. economy if that strike does happen?
In this morning's GMA First Look, Ruby Franke facing justice, expected to appear in court in just hours. The YouTube parenting influencer charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse.
I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
ABC News obtaining audio from the dramatic 911 call that led to her arrest.
Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and he's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
Over a year ago, we started getting a few phone calls from neighbors and family that there was some things that need to be investigated.
And we'll tell you what's next in her case coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kana Whitworth, ABC News, New York.
In your consumer headlines this morning, the United Auto Workers Union is threatening to go on strike next week if their demands are not met. Right now, there's little optimism coming from the automakers or the UAW, and some analysts are expecting a work stoppage. General Motors made a counteroffer Thursday that features a 10% pay hike if the roughly 145,000 workers with GM, Ford, and Stellantis go on a 10-day strike. The U.S. economy could lose at least $5 billion, according to Anderson Economic Counseling.
Apple is urging iPhone and iPad owners to update their operating systems immediately. The company issued an update that fixes a vulnerability that hackers may already be exploiting. It was discovered by the Citizen Lab at University of Toronto. Security flaw exists in iOS 16.6.1. Experts say iPhone and iPad owners should immediately go to the settings menu on their devices. From there, select General, then Software, Update.
The maker of an extremely spicy tortilla chip marketed as the One Chip Challenge is pulling the product from store shelves. Pocky says the move is out of abundance of caution after teens started participating in the challenge, which is meant for adults. One 14-year-old died hours after taking part in the One Chip Challenge last week. His family is convinced that the chip made their son sick, but are waiting for an official cause of death. Pocky said in a statement the chips are not intended for anyone with sensitivity to spicy foods, food allergies, or those with underlying health conditions.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide looking over at I-35. We believe the southbound lanes at Topperwine, and looks like there's still a little bit of problems out there, but we're going to be checking with our Stephen Cavazos very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We tweeted that out a little bit earlier. It looks like I-35 southbound near Judson Road, at least a couple of lanes blocked there.
Yes.
Did you need to borrow a pen?
Yeah,
well, I have one, but I know you're going to.
This one has the Lions football team
Detroit
on it. Yeah.
Which was a gift from this lovely young lady.
Well, I'm glad you get to show it off today.
All sorts of Lions swag over here.
Congrats on your team.
Anybody say best record in the end? So, okay, pardon me. It is going to be very, very hot today. This is, unfortunately, temperature is going to be peaking today, and then it's still going to stay hot over the weekend. This little guy, oh, goodness gracious, when you're hungry, you're hot, you eat while you are splooting. But again, he's savoring the Lions' victory as well. Thank you for that picture, Yvonne. We are up to 71 days now as far as triple-digit temperatures, obviously way above anything else. And we're going to continue to add to that number this weekend. So we're going to be up to 72 today, 73, 74. Monday, it's going to be a really close call, depending on the timing of a couple of weather features. Got a lot of clear skies right now. Dew point temperatures, we were talking about how it's a bit more comfortable when you step outside. Look at this, down 9 degrees from yesterday at this time in Uvalde, 7 Hondo, 3 out there at the airport, 4 at Pleasanton and New Braunfels. I mean, it's still humid, but even a couple of degrees when it comes to dew points makes all the difference in the world, and the humidity will be dropping off later on today. So kind of a give and take situation. We're not going to have an overly high heat index to deal with, but the drier air just allows things to heat up. So it is going to be just brutally hot. And of course, dew points will come back up, go through that usual 24-hour cycle tomorrow morning. We're going to bottom out at 80 this morning, kind of like the past couple of days. 92 at 11 o'clock. We're already at the normal high at 11 o'clock this morning, 96 at noon. And then we top off 105. That will be another new record, like yesterday was a record high temperature. All right, here is the rapid update computer model. Nothing going on today, nothing going on throughout most of the day tomorrow, but we're watching off to the east. And as we go into tomorrow evening, Now, this one's not as aggressive in the early evening hours, but by later on tomorrow night, there are going to be a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Actually, some of those may be on the stronger side, way northeast of our area, and some will invade some of our northeastern counties in the overnight hours. Now, jump to a different computer model. This one's a little more anxious to get something going. And again, this is one of those long-range models, kind of broad brush, but both are somewhat in agreement. We'll have one or two of those showers out there as we go into tomorrow night. Sunday, then, a little bit better chance to see a stray shower or a storm in the afternoon. Monday, somewhat of a break in the action and just a couple of them out there. Tuesday, a little bit better chance for some rain. Then we go into Wednesday and especially Thursday. It's looking like we're going mid and even toward the latter part of the week with that somewhat better rain chance around here. Still not written in stone, but still it is looking promising. Until then, though, brutally hot today, 105, 103 tomorrow. 101 on Sunday. It's going to be a close call on Monday, depending on a couple of extra clouds hanging around here, and then we drop into the mid and I think even some lower 90s by the middle of the week, and those improving rain chances by the middle of next week.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So there is hope on the horizon.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind for those kids, parents, everyone going out for Friday night football tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be at kickoff time in the hundreds around much of the area. So yeah, just watch it.
We sure will. Thank you, Mike.
All right, time now is, let's check the phone here, 4:51. We're looking at 80 degrees there on your Friday morning.
And coming up next in Hollywood, the latest on the former That 70s Show star Danny Masterson and his sentencing, plus a look at movies in theaters this weekend.
All right, taking a look at lotto numbers here. Pick 3, looking at 5, 1, 6, and 2. And then daily 4, looking at 0, 2, 7, 9, and 2.
Cash 5, 9, 12, 13, 23, 24. Your Texas two-step, 2, 15, 32, 35. Bonus ball, 14.
Oh man, see, this is why I didn't want to tell you.
Former That 70s Show star Danny Masterson has been sentenced to 30 years to life in prison after being convicted of raping several women. The actor didn't speak in court during the sentencing, but several of his victims did, in tears, one describing the severe PTSD and waves of panic she suffers because of the abuse. The 47-year-old Masterson will spend at least 25 years locked up before he's eligible for parole. His attorneys say they'll appeal. Mark Anthony, known by many as the King of Salsa, now a Hollywood star, his name now permanently etched on Hollywood Boulevard, though he said during the ceremony he doesn't feel he's worthy of the honor.
I feel like I just started. That's what's weird to me, is I just started. This is just the beginning.
Anthony's close friend David Beckham also on hand for the event, along with 2 of Anthony's sons and his wife, Nadia. In theaters this weekend, The Nun 2 is looking to scare up the most cash.
We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah. While another sequel, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, should finish in the top 3. And raise your glass to Pink today. It's her birthday. The superstar singer is 44. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And Jimmy Fallon has apologized to his staff over allegations of a difficult work environment at The Tonight Show. The allegations were first published in a story by Rolling Stone on Thursday. The magazine cited 16 unnamed current and former employees who described a difficult work environment on that show. Fallon apologized to staff members during a Zoom call. In a statement, NBC told Rolling Stone the network encourages employees to report their concerns.
Yeah, I was seeing social media. There was a lot of stuff about Jimmy Fallon. I was like, what is going on there? That explains it.
I know. We don't see anything because, we don't see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I did not realize that was going on.
Yeah, and real quick, Pink will actually be here at the Alamo Dome.
Oh, that's right. It's September this month. That's right. A lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Well, are you going, or friends?
Well, Guns N' Roses, I think, is the next night or the night before.
That's going to be your show.
I might just hang out at the Alamo.
Just be there all weekend long.
All right, time now is 4:56, and we're still looking at 80 degrees to start your Friday morning.
And we are still looking at I-35 at Tupper Wine. They're out of the way, but things look a little better. I don't know. It looks like it kind of cleared up, but Stephen Cavazos is in the studio, so we're going to be checking in with him after the break.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A man on trial accused of murder had something revealed that still may not take him off the hook for the crime. What a forensic scientist found when looking at the evidence.
Plus, the latest in the kidnapping of a couple on a Tuesday night. What San Antonio police are saying about the suspects and who they're still searching for.
All right, taking a look outside with live cam. It's Friday morning, 5 o'clock. We're really glad to have you here for Good Morning San Antonio. Already off to a little bit of a warm start out there, 80 degrees, and it's going to get hot later today.
Yes, it is. We're going to reach those triple digits. Happy Friday. It is September 8th, and we hope you had a good week, and we hope you've stayed cool throughout the week.
Yeah, trying to do anything to stay cool. Glad you guys are having me today. Good Morning San Antonio, filling in for Mark. So glad to be with the crew right now on this Friday morning.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And right now, actually, so for the most part, you know, the weather looks good and the traffic looks good at these hours.
Yeah, we'll take it for now, right, Mike?
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, too, at least the humidity is down slightly compared to this time yesterday morning and the past couple of mornings. Got to give a shout out to a viewer a few years ago. Made these for me, and they're coming in very handy today. The little tissue box and the placement
to your
right
Lions.
There. So I just thought I just wanted to say hi to the viewer. There's no other reason to show these this morning, so thank you very much for that. 81 degrees right now, dew points at 70. That bottom number was up around 74, 76, 77 throughout much of the area yesterday, a couple of days ago. So still very humid out there, but at least it is lower. We have a heat index right now right around 84. Look at that, 105 is what the high temperature is going to be today. Extremely hot out there, and it's still going to be hot coming in here this weekend. The aquifer yesterday dropped down 0.3 of a foot. Allergens, mold, and pigweed are both on the low side. So with some of this humidity, even though it's not as high as the past couple of days, excuse me, we still have a bit of a heat index to deal with. 89 Canyon Lake, and like I said, 84 out there at the airports, Stinson, Port SA, as well as in New Braunfels. Now, we do have excessive heat warnings, heat advisories posted. The heat advisories that had been in effect have been upgraded to the excessive heat warnings. San Antonio, Atascosa County, going up 35, going out 10. And this is starting at noon up until 7 o'clock this evening. And that's right around kickoff time for a lot of the games. So it is definitely going to be brutally hot for all of the Friday night football games. A couple of clouds hanging around here this morning. Again, plenty of humidity, even though it is down slightly. Blazing hot today. Another record. We hit a record yesterday. We are definitely going to be setting another record today. Now, the weekend, we're still going to be in the triple digits. A shower or two is going to be possible late tomorrow night, especially northeast, and then a couple of them on Sunday. A little bit of a lesser chance of rain Monday. Then we'll start to ramp up the rain chances going into the middle of next week, and also we'll start to see some of those lower temperatures as well. All the weekend details and all the details about next week coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, happy Friday, sir. What's going on, Mr. Cavazos?
Better news over here, Mike. That crash that we had a very close eye on throughout the morning has cleared out. There was an overturned vehicle, and I talked to our friends at TransGuide. We saw that there was at least 2 lanes that were blocked right behind me. But bear this in mind, this is also an area where we have plenty of construction. It's also a very busy corridor pretty much at all hours as folks are making their way to and from the Alamo City. So just be on the lookout. That is cleared already, but we still may have some crews out there finishing the job. Let's take a look here where we had that crash. It was just before Loop 1604 near Live Oak. 35 southbound at Judson Road is where it was listed by TxDOT. Again, 2 lanes were blocked, but it does look like that is officially cleared out, so we'll go ahead and clear that from our map. Taking a drive back here closer into town, we did actually have another crash reported at 410 westbound at Nacogdoches Road. This appeared to be a pretty minor crash according to what we were seeing from the TransGuide cameras, so I wasn't too concerned about it, but still, be on the lookout anytime you find those flashing lights out on the roadway and make sure to move over or slow down. Hopefully there were no injuries associated with these crashes, but better news for a lot of drivers out there. You have plenty of green on the screen, so that means you have some quiet roadways. If you're making your way into the Alamo City, it's pretty much the same story here, folks. I-10 eastbound, that journey from Bernie should be about 24 minutes at this hour. It's not too awful if you're traveling in from Bulverde with 26 minutes along 281 southbound. And there along New Braunfels, we have 24 minutes along 35 southbound. So that crash really wasn't causing a big delay for drivers, but still, we know a lot of folks tend to make the commute. We'll get one last look here at 35 at Topperwine. And it does look like this road work is wrapping up, but we know other road work is ramping up. I'll tell you where. We'll have that coming up a little bit later on. RJ, stuff?
Thank you very much, Stephen. Good to see that crash cleared out. Forensic evidence revealed that a man on trial for murder had no gunshot residue on his hands. He is accused of murdering his mother's boyfriend last year.
Erica Hernandez takes us inside the courtroom and explains why that revelation does not necessarily clear him from that crime.
And it's also a possibility that Guyan did not fire a gun, was not close to a gun, and did not hold the gun. It's a possibility, right?
Yes.
A defense attorney for Guyan Perez asking a forensic scientist to clarify the results of her analysis of gunshot residue tests done on Perez and his mother, Monica Vasquez. Perez is accused of fatally shooting Vasquez's boyfriend, Luis Rosales, in August 2022. Rosales was hit 4 times down the road from the home Perez and his mother lived in. At the time of the incident, Perez had accused Rosales of sexually assaulting a family member. Gunshot residue is the particles expelled from a gun as it's discharged. While Perez had none on his hands, his mother did.
Monica Vasquez may have discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
The state asked that when Vasquez provided first aid to Rosales, if those particles could have transferred over then.
A secondary transfer could be, say, there was gunshot residue that was deposited on the surface and someone touched that surface and then had that GSR on their hands.
It was further explained that just because Perez had no residue on his hands didn't mean he didn't fire a gun.
There are a lot of different factors that could affect how GSR gets deposited, especially the environmental factors.
The jury could soon get this case. They are expected to return to the 379th District Courtroom tomorrow, where closing arguments are expected to take place. Then it'll be up to them to decide if Guyan Perez is guilty or not guilty. At the Kidnapping Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio police are searching for the third suspect accused of taking a couple at gunpoint from their home on Tuesday night. The couple was found unharmed less than 20 miles from their home where they were kidnapped, and San Antonio police arrested 29-year-old Xavier Martinez and 40-year-old Felipe Valdez for aggravated kidnapping. That was yesterday morning. Martinez has an active warrant for deadly conduct, evading arrest, and interfering with public duties. One neighbor who lives at the West Side home where that couple was found says she has seen unusual behavior there.
Cars come in all the time. They're always taking something out of the trunk, different cars. You know, you're like, what do you do in the trunk all day?
We are still waiting to learn more about the third suspect and why the couple was taken from their home.
This morning, hundreds of law enforcement officers continue their hunt for an escaped murderer on the run in southeast Pennsylvania.
Danilo Cavalcante was spotted again for an 8th time. ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest as residents grow more frustrated with how long the search is taking.
This morning, the urgent manhunt for a convicted killer in Pennsylvania now in its 2nd week. Authorities investigating the 8th credible sighting of Danilo Cavalcante.
We are checking homes. We are talking to neighbors. We have horses out there as well that are assisting with the search, tactical teams.
Sources tell our Philadelphia station WPVI Cavalcante was spotted on another trail camera near the local Longwood Botanical Gardens, the same area he was spotted in on Monday, shown here appearing to hold a bag. Residents there told to shelter in place as a precaution. Armed law enforcement seen scouring the neighborhood. Police say this sighting of the 34-year-old sentenced to life in prison for murdering his ex-girlfriend indicates he likely has been traveling back and forth and is contained in a search area of 8 to 10 square miles.
This has been going on for a week now, and it has to be beyond frustrating.
It's insane. I mean, it really is insane. And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, special ops get them in here. Anything.
Whatever it takes,
right,
basically.
whatever it takes.
The escapee has eluded hundreds of law officers since he broke out of the Chester County Prison, seen in this stunning security video where he scales these narrow walls to the roof to get out. Officials say the guard in the observation tower has been placed on administrative leave. Prison officials promising increased security at the facility, including additional surveillance cameras to eliminate blind spots.
I believe he becomes more desperate. We will eventually capture him, and when we do, he's going to prison.
The reward for information leading to Cavalcante's capture is now at $20,000, but police warn he's still considered extremely dangerous. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Time now is 5:09 and 80 degrees for now.
And you might want to look in your fridge. Oh no, don't want to hear this. Many food items are being recalled. We'll tell you what they are coming up next.
Oh no. Let's look out there with a live cam. We can handle 80 degrees for now, but you know, Friday night football is going to be a hot one, that's for sure. I know RJ's going to be busy out there.
Oh yeah.
You take lots of water.
Not excited for it, but you know what? So the games will be played. Make sure to stay cool out there.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's 5:13 on your Friday morning, and we have a huge recall to tell you about for frozen chicken strips. One person actually hurt their mouth from eating one.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz has our recall roundup that also includes some tainted Texas-made dog food.
Have banquet chicken strip meals in your freezer? Check the box. ConAgra Brands is recalling 245,000 pounds of the frozen entrees because they may contain bits of plastic. The best buy dates are December 11th, 2024, January 1 or January 7th of 2025. Take them back or just throw them out. Is this your dog's chow? Mid-America Pet Food is recalling more than 600 cases of Victor Super Premium Dog Food High Pro Plus after salmonella was found in a sample at a Texas plant. These are 5-pound bags with a best buy date of April 30th, 2024. Parent alert, Tomy is recalling 83,000 high chairs, Boom Flare, and Flare Elite models. The bolt can loosen and the seat can come off of the base. A couple dozen children have fallen. Contact Tomy for a chair repair kit. And if you bought smart plugs on Amazon, take a look. Emporia is recalling 80,000 of them because users can get shocked. You can contact the company to get new plugs or just get your money back. We have more details on all of these recalls on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so we're getting up on 5:15 on your Friday morning, wrapping up the work week. Maybe you're getting a coffee, getting the kids maybe up a little bit earlier. 80 degrees right now.
Yeah, you need the iced coffee today.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
be right back.
Welcome to Blue Buffalo's One Taste is All It Takes.
Ruka likes food that tastes good. She won't eat anything she doesn't want to eat. She's a headstrong little lady. There's no faking it with her.
We sent you Blue Tastefuls dry food. And?
She loved it. I was super surprised. I want food that's healthy, nutritious, and something she'll love.
What's for dinner tonight?
It's Tastefuls from Blue Buffalo for this little girl.
Pick up Blue Tastefuls and find out why one taste is all it takes. Available at dry, wet, and singles.
For moms from Centrum. This new mom, here I go. I am strong and brave, I know. With a little time for me, no doubt I will get through. Loving me is loving you.
New from Centrum, the Women's Choice multivitamin brand.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna need something for the international games.
Maybe I can reintroduce myself as Jalen Ramstein.
I like that.
And you can wear lederhosen. I look good in lederhosen.
In today's Tech Bites, Google's newest smartphones. The company says the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are arriving October 4th. Google says the new devices feature the most advanced Pixel camera yet, and Google AI. The new Pixel Watch 2 will also be launched on the same day. Snapchat is adding more methods to keep teens from connecting with strangers. New safeguards include making 13 to 17-year-old people harder to find in searches. There will also be a strike system for accounts that share age-inappropriate content. And finally, Polaroid has announced a new high-end camera. According to the company, the i2 contains the sharpest lens Polaroid has ever produced, along with built-in manual controls. The camera is available now. Expect to pay about $600. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Welcome back. It's 5:20.
Yeah, a lot of cool ways to take pictures and photos nowadays. Yeah.
Ever use those things for phone calls? It's interesting.
Oh,
wait.
For phone
what?
calls? What's that?
What's that? Yeah. Hey guys, we're keeping an eye on a few different roadways here, and I'm taking a look at one of the TransGuide cameras, 90 at Leon Creek. We do have a crash reported in the eastbound lanes. Right shoulder is blocked. We're going to get to that a little bit later on, but we want people to be in the know before they travel off into the weekend. We've been talking about it all week. I'm talking about the Loop 1604 North expansion project. Take a look at this drone video that we have. As so you see the construction that's been
been shaping up out there. It has been years in the making, and I'll tell you what, there's still plenty of years to go. This is a portion of the project. The project spans about 5 segments, all the way from Bandera Road to I-35. So that's about 23 miles. TxDOT anticipates that there will be more than 150,000 drivers that travel through this area each and every day. So this construction is needed to improve mobility and reduce congestion. But if you've traveled through Loop 1604, chances are you've been caught in some back-to-back traffic out there, so plan ahead. Let's get it back here to the map where we see that project that spans about 12 miles. Here, there are about 3 segments, and again, that stretches from Bandera to US 281. These are the 3 phases that are currently under construction, so be on the lookout because we will see more work ramp up this weekend. We're going to take you to segment 3, which is from I-10 to US 281. This begins tonight and should wrap tomorrow night, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. The work begins Loop 1604 eastbound. Those main lanes will see a full closure there. That's from Northwest Military Highway, the exit ramp, all the way to the entrance ramp. So just plan your commute ahead of time. Make sure you head over to ksat.com/traffic, but you can scan this QR code. It takes you directly to our page. We have a full article that breaks down the project that's happening this weekend. And, you know, anytime we have a situation on 1604, that slows a lot of folks down, especially throughout the weekend. So just know what to expect ahead of time. Mike?
Thank you very much. Well, despite all the dry conditions, looks like some nice Bosque pears almost ready to be harvested over there in Seguin. Thank you very much for that KSAT Connect picture. All right, we've got a lot of clear skies hanging around here this morning. We'll have a couple of morning clouds, then moving on in here. Temperatures are going to be pretty steady as they have been. We're going to bottom out at 80, and then it's going to warm up very quickly. We've got slightly lower humidity, and of course, the drier the air is, the easier it is to heat up. It doesn't take as much energy to heat up, which is why we're already going to be up to 96 at noon. 92 is the normal high temperature, average high temperature. So obviously we're just going to continue to go up from there. So we're going to be a good 13 degrees above normal later on today. 105, new record high temperature, the hottest day of the week. Nothing showing up in the satellite picture right now, and really not much around the country. A couple of storms right there, just about in the mid-Mississippi Valley, some up to the north. And notice if you kind of step back and sort of look, there's the clockwise rotation. That's the high, which is pretty much sitting right on top of us. It's sort of moved on in here and it's pushing down, and that's why this is going to be the hottest day of the week. Then the high starts to work its way off to the west somewhat, weakens a bit, and we get into this little bit of a northwesterly flow. So that's what's going to allow some of these disturbances to move in here, which means by late tomorrow night, there's going to be a couple of little disturbances, few showers, thunderstorms, especially in the northeastern portion of our viewing area. Same thing then on Sunday. We'll have a couple of those showers around here. And between the big trough, we've been watching this thing developing up there in the Great Lakes and southern Canada. That's going to start to actually push a front down in our direction. And the timing of it is still a little bit up in the air as of right now. It looks like it's going to be Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, sometimes these fronts don't always move all the way through here. They kind of just hang out just a little bit. So that'll be also something that we have to keep an eye on. But as that front continues to push down in here, that's going to be a focal point for more showers, especially it's going to increase rain chances as we go in toward the middle of next week. And then also some lower temperatures. Now, we're not going to be getting, all these upper level wind lines coming straight down out of Canada like we do in the wintertime. So this will be kind of short lived. We'll still be at or maybe a couple of degrees above normal, but at least we're not going to be seeing triple digit temperatures next week. Details go like this. Today, 105, 103 tomorrow, 101 on Sunday. We'll have a couple of showers, especially northeast tomorrow in the evening and nighttime hours, 1 or 2 of them around Sunday. Monday is actually going to be a close call, going for 98, but it will be really close to whether we hit triple-digit temperatures on Monday. Then we start to see temperatures continue to drop down, mid to low 90s by the middle of the week, and better rain chances.
Well, we'll be able to handle it Monday after facing triple digits for a long time. 98's going to seem like a cold front that has moved through on Monday, but the actual front will be lying in the area closer toward the middle of the week. That would be even more exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mike, by the way, harvest for Bosque pears begins in the fall in Oregon and Washington, and they are seasonal from late September through April.
Oh.
So,
well,
yeah, I would imagine that with the heat there. Did some Googling. Yeah. It's very interesting in the Bosque pears.
Too hot here, though.
That's right. All right, taking a look at our timer and temperature. It is now 5:25 and 80 degrees.
Coming up next in Hollywood, a look at the new movies hitting theaters and streaming services next month.
I just know I can do it, and I couldn't do it without you. Right, okay.
Annette Bening hits the water as real-life marathon swimmer Diana Nyad in the new drama, Nyad. Jodie Foster co-stars in the retelling of Nyad's swim from Cuba to Florida at the age of 64, which arrives in theaters October 20th before hitting Netflix on November 3rd.
So how long do we have to do this for?
Well, we need to build up a very strong connection.
Bradley Cooper will make a splash at the annual AFI Fest. Maestro is the latest drama from the actor and director, chronicling late music conductor Leonard Bernstein. The Netflix biopic will close the 37th year of festivities on October 29th.
You're a fighter, man. What made you want to do it?
Because he tried to mess with the one thing that means the most to me in life.
Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones team up in the courtroom drama The Burial. This is your first look at the feature, which lands in select theaters on October 6th before arriving on Prime Video on October 13th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Good morning. Let's look out there with live cam starting at 80 degrees. We've had a long, hot summer, but we're looking forward to relief next week. But still, we have to get through the triple digits today.
All right, thanks for being with us, guys, on your Friday morning as we wrap up the work week. Mike is glowing over here.
Glowing.
Because of the Lions' big win last night, Mike.
My Detroit Lions pen and all the other accoutrement I have, thanks to this lovely young lady that gives me.
No problem, no problem.
21-20 over the Chiefs. Just want to say that best record in the NFL as of right now. So let me just savor this, please. Thank you. I mean, it's been a while. All right, it is going to be brutally hot today. Hot start this morning. Humidity is actually down slightly as you step outside. I mean, still humid out there, but not as high as what it was the past couple of days. We've got a lot of clear skies as of right now. Temperature stands at 81. Dew point still 70. I mean, that's still very high. But yesterday and the past couple of days, it's been up around 74, 75 degrees, which is just like tropical sort of humidity. So this isn't necessarily a wet towel when you walk outside, but you know, like I said, still humid out there. Heat index readings, 84 at the airport, 87 is what it feels like up there in Canyon Lake, and then mid and lower 70s in parts of the hill country. Mold, pigweed are both on the low side this morning. The heat advisories that have been in effect for the past couple of days have been upgraded to excessive heat warnings for San Antonio, going up the I-35 corridor, heading out to the east on 10, and then some of our metropolitan counties as well. And this is just to take into account the brutally hot temperatures out there later on today. We're going to make it up to 105. We'll actually be at the normal high later on this morning at 11 o'clock. Even 96 degrees at noon, which is still very, very hot. But yeah, 105, at least the humidity is going to be somewhat tolerable. But if you are heading off to football games tonight, wow, it is just good. This is not football weather. Maybe down here, yeah, but 101 at kickoff, and then just back down to 96 degrees right around halftime. We do have some rain chances that are going to be coming on in here this weekend, albeit very small. It's still going to be hot this weekend, but the better rain chances and lower temperatures will then move in next week. Details on that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority had some problems earlier. What's going on now?
Well, Mike, it does look like the same trend continues out here along US 90. Let's get a shot there at Leon Creek. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the morning, and now we have a view from TransGuide where we can see that we have a river of lights out there, flashing lights as well. Never a good sign. It does look like a crash has been reported, and this is in a very busy spot, folks. Those eastbound lanes of 90. The reason why we say it's busy is because a lot of folks make their way into the Alamo City from Castroville. This is going to slow down your commute if you have to travel through the area here in the next few minutes or so. I don't think these folks are going anywhere anytime soon, so hopefully they have their pack of patience with coffee. As we get a look behind me, it's US 90 eastbound right near Military Drive-In. You see that buildup taking place just after Military, so we'll find out exactly where it's been pinpointed specifically along US 90, but it's definitely already a problem for a lot of folks out there. As we give you a wide look at the map, we have a little bit of relief here, guys. It is pretty much a green start for a lot of folks that are hitting the roads in the next few minutes. Let's just get another look here at that problem, though, along US 90 at Leon Creek. I'm going to step out of the studio, talk to our friends at TransGuide, and I'll have another update for you. Hopefully it'll be a better one coming up in the next few minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. One family is relieved this morning after finding out how long a man will be in prison for leaving their daughter to die from fentanyl poisoning.
Yeah, this is the Bowe family. They celebrated outside the federal courthouse yesterday after 29-year-old Patrick James Hall got sentenced to 30 years in prison and 10 years of supervised release. Hall admitted that in 2020, he met 19-year-old Isabella Render at a hotel, sold her what she thought was oxycodone, but it turned out to be fentanyl.
He said she became unconscious, but instead of calling 911, he left her alone. By the time help came, Isabella was dead from fentanyl poisoning.
Isabella's mother tells KSAT that she wants drug dealers to be afraid after this sentencing.
I want those drug dealers who are out there who may have a stash right now in their pocket and they're getting ready to push it to someone, think twice. Think twice. Because there's now law in place that will do something that is beyond a slap on the hand and back on the streets again.
And Tara says that she also wants family members who have lost their kids in similar situations to also fight for justice. And now we go behind the gates of JBSA Lackland to a group of highly trained and skilled airmen protecting the base, the city, and the country by taking on threats.
Our Jonathan Cotto takes us front and center into the high-stakes world of EOD technicians.
Yeah, you can pull. Really, Air Force and the U.S. in particular didn't really begin explosive ordnance disposal operations till about the 40s, mid-40s.
Hank says it was actually the British that were the first generation of explosive ordnance technicians.
Prior to that, explosives have been around since the 10th century.
Technology quickly advancing and weaponry becoming more and more complex, the American Armed Forces understood the demand for EOD.
They created this profession, bomb disposal technicians, and they basically were the guys charged with going out there and removing these fuses and making these bombs safe to move and eventually dispose of.
Senior Airman David Ethan Lane says the core mission is always aircraft support.
So that involves dealing with in-flight emergencies when they land. If it has to do with ordnance, we'll go safe the aircraft. That way the maintainers can figure out what went wrong, and then we can generate sorties and do all that air power stuff.
Serving as the Air Force's bomb squad, these EOD technicians work in the most extreme of conditions and environments. A critical and tactical component in maintaining air superiority.
So global war on terror, the enemy started using improvised explosive devices a lot, and so we became a core component to the mission, because without us, we didn't have freedom of movement. We couldn't do anything with those IEDs blowing up everywhere. So that's kind of where EOD came really into the spotlight.
JBSA Lackland's EOD supports the entire South Texas area, 57 counties and 14 military installations. Training numerous times throughout the year with civilian bomb squads on interoperability.
That way, in case we get called out on a, like, let's say somebody's uncle died and they have a couple ordnance items in their house. If we have to go and assist them, they'll know exactly how we work and we know exactly how they work.
Every branch of the military has their designated emergency ordnance disposal teams.
Our badge is it's all four services: Navy, Marines, Air Force, and the Army. We all go to the same school and we get the same base education and schooling.
Technicians undergo a 10-month rigorous training period.
We're supposed to be training about 16 to 20 hours a week before the guys that come here fresh out of school. They're training every single day for about 7 to 10 hours a day.
EOD teams working with the latest cutting-edge technology.
We have 2 new robot systems that are brand new to the career field, to the actual whole military.
Robot systems that allow technicians to operate completely remote.
And that way we don't have to go ourselves down onto a suspicious item or on a suspicious package.
We're one of the career fields that really embraces technology and incorporates it into our daily life, and then especially into our operations. So that's been a big part of it. And then just getting smarter, doing things more remote and safer is always the goal.
For EOD technicians, there are only 2 options: initial success or total failure.
So we need experts that are able to identify the problem, render it safe, and mitigate the hazard. And without us, I'm not sure who would do that in the Air Force.
Find the hole! Reporting front and center,
find the hole!
Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, very interesting behind the scenes look. Reminds me of the movie The Hurt Locker. No, this is real life, obviously.
Yes, yes it is. But a lot of safety precautions there as well.
Absolutely. All right. So it is 5:40 now on your Friday morning. and sticking there at 80 degrees so far this morning.
Not too bad. Goodwill of San Antonio celebrating workforce development in their own way. Coming up, how they're helping hundreds of students succeed in their academic career.
All right, and taking a look at live cam, you know what? It's looking, like we said, 80 degrees, but we know it's going to get hot. Mike is standing by with the very latest, including, you know what? We got from Friday Night Football going on tonight, so be prepared to stay cool out there. Welcome back. It's 5:44. During the month of September, Goodwill San Antonio is celebrating Workforce Development Month with an open house for its school. The Good Career Academy in downtown San Antonio offers free medical education programs to qualifying students. From medical assistants to pharmacy technicians, Goodwill has been offering these types of classes since 2010, and more than 1,300 students have graduated since then. The school also helps students with tuition, childcare, and transportation to help them achieve their goals.
I have something to do for myself now. I have something for myself and my future. I like that I'm able to, have an impact on people and help them.
All right, mark your calendar. The open house will be on September 21st.
And the time now is 5:44 and 80 degrees for now.
Yeah, and we're talking about this all summer long with recent drought and dry conditions. Fires are becoming more extreme. Still ahead, what fire officials are reminding people when it comes to fire safety.
And looking out there with TransGuide, still problems out there at Highway 90 at Leon Creek, but we're going to be checking in with our Stephen Cavazos very soon. Welcome back. It is 5:48. 2 years of drought and desperate for rain. South Central Texas has dealt with drought conditions for more than 730 days, dating all the way back to September of 2021. So scenes like this one yesterday in South Bexar County are a reminder of the extreme fire danger. This is all that's left after a fire on the 25,000 block of Dunes, a metal frame, a pile of rubble, and several damaged mobile homes. Now, only one of the 5 homes was occupied, but the people who lived inside were able to get out.
If you add any wind to this, for example, you immediately can have, yes, a 3/4 acre fire, but all of a sudden we're looking at 100 acres. So, it's not a far stretch. We've seen it.
Between dry vegetation and the need to rotate firefighters in the heat, fire officials are urging people to practice fire safety. Something to keep in mind is to not throw cigarettes out of your car window and don't drag any chains.
Yeah, and very important information there. All right, so we've been following this incident there, US 90 at Leon Creek. Let's get the very latest with Stephen Cavazos. Stephen?
Just cleared out, guys. As we take a look behind me, US 90 at Leon Creek, those eastbound lanes were pretty much, we saw pretty much a long line of cars out there. That is because a crash was reported in the area. But keep this in mind, too. US 90, this particular spot, this crash actually occurred in a construction zone. So it led to big delays for drivers for a little while. But I talked to our friends at TransGuide earlier. It did look like only one right lane was closed. As of this point, we are seeing some smooth traffic along US 90 as we get into the 6 a.m. hour.
That's good.
Accident cleared. Yeah, when you think about, I was going to say about that fire danger and everything, yes, it is good news that we do have some rain in the forecast, but it's going to take a ton of it, and this won't really, it'll help out, we'll take anything, but we're still going to have a very high fire danger, and it's going to be the threat high all the way through really the foreseeable future, until we get some really, really good soaking rains and that vegetation comes back in here. All right, take a look at this picture, and this one says, big beautiful butterfly doesn't mind the heat. I wonder if he agrees with that, but that's a gorgeous shot right there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Lots of clear skies starting off this morning. We'll have one or two of our morning clouds over there at 4:10. Everything's moving along very well. All right, Climate Prediction Center is still, this is the middle to the end of next week, and very, very good rain chances or odds of seeing better than normal precipitation up there in and around the Panhandle, and we still have that chance of rain around here. Now, temperatures will still be leaning toward the warm side of things, and this just means odds being slightly above normal, not necessarily triple digits. We're not forecasting triple digits. And notice the below normal or good odds of below normal temperatures. So this is where that front comes into play that we're looking at toward the middle part of next week. And then even further on into the future, going in toward the following weekend, still about 50-50 chance for some rain here in town. or normal precipitation, I should say. And then as far as temperatures, we're still leaning toward the warm side of things, just slightly above normal as far as temperatures are concerned. Here's the computer model going into Saturday. Now, again, these long-range models, kind of broad brush things. This one's a little generous. I think most of this is going to be further off to the northeast, but there will be that chance around here. Going into Sunday, a couple of those showers around the area, and even Sunday night. Monday, probably not as good a chance to see a shower or two. Still got a mention of it in the forecast. And then we go into Tuesday, and we'll have the chance of rain as that front starts to work its way in our direction Tuesday, and then especially going into Wednesday and even lagging into Thursday, we'll have that chance for a couple of showers around here. Still, nothing is written in stone as far as the forecast is concerned, as far as the rain is concerned. There will be some in the area. Obviously hope for the best, but again, we may have to kind of take what we get, and it probably won't be a whole heck of a lot. 80 throughout the rest of the morning, and then we're already going to be up into the mid-90s at noon. We top off at 105 later on today. A new record high temperature like yesterday. We did hit 103, and that high is what is finally going to be moving on out of here. That's what's plaguing us and keeping us so hot, but we'll finally get that cooler air to push into the northern portion of the country and then try to push a front down in here. But of course, these early fronts are notorious for just kind of waiting at arm's length. 103 tomorrow, 101 on Sunday. A couple of showers here or there. A little bit better chance for rain as we go into the first part of the week and then the middle part of the week especially. And we're looking at some mid to lower 90s, just about down to a normal high temperature, maybe a degree or two above that. So yeah, it is promising. I mean, we're still a few days off, so I'm just going to keep monitoring things. But yeah. Fingers crossed for next week.
Fingers crossed.
It's going to be a hot weekend. We have Friday night football tonight. And of course, UTSA is going to have their home opener, expecting about 45,000 out there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of tailgating going to be going on, so make sure you stay hydrated with water.
What time's game on Saturday?
2:30.
2:30. Oh,
yes.
Good Lord, it's going to be really hot
Very
out there.
hot.
Playing Texas State?
No, they're playing the Dome. So that is good. We're inside.
Playing
Playing
Texas State.
Yes,
Yeah.
And they're coming off the big victory over Baylor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Texas State, eat them up. Sorry.
Not that you're biased.
Not at all.
Time now, 5:54 and 79 degrees for now.
All right, taking a look at our Texas lottery here. We have our pick 3, 5, 1, 6, and 2, and then daily 4, 0, 2, 7, 9, and 2.
Cash 5, 9, 12, 13, 23, 24. And your Texas 2-step, 2, 15, 32, 35, bonus ball 14. Good luck.
Welcome back to GMSA. The city of San Antonio is hosting the 8th annual World Heritage Festival through this Sunday. It's an event that celebrates San Antonio's unique history. And today, starting at 8:30 a.m., there will be a hike at San Antonio's Missions National Historical Park. That's located at 9101 Graff Road. And tonight, a music and movie Under the Stars at Mission Marquee Plaza. To learn more information, you can head to the World Heritage Festival.org website. All right, ahead in our next hour of GMSA, San Antonio police are searching for the third suspect accused of taking a couple at gunpoint from their home on Tuesday night. Plus, the border buoys in the Rio Grande are now staying put. Well, this for now. We'll look at why and what overturned a judge's ruling this week. And up next, the UTSA Roadrunners are getting ready for their home opener against Texas State. Why this is a must-win rivalry game for both teams. All right, and taking a look at TransGuide right now, US 98 Leon Creek. Traffic moving along smoothly there. We saw an incident there a little while ago. Stephen Cavazos is following the very latest on the roads. We will have that and much more coming up at 6 o'clock. Stay with us.
We are on a budget, so what we do is we try to maintain the electricity. We try to keep the lights off during the day.
Right now on GMSA, the summer heat is putting a huge strain on the state's power grid. So CPS Energy is asking all of us to help conserve energy, how they're rewarding customers who do that.
Plus, a dramatic rescue is underway to save an American man trapped thousands of feet underground overseas. How it all unfolded coming up next.
And we'll be driving around in hot cars again this afternoon, but for now, we are at 80 degrees.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Yeah, definitely going to have the AC going there, either in your cars, homes, but of course, make sure to keep in mind conservation there. Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on your Friday, September 8th.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good week and looking forward to the weekend. It's still going to be a little warm this weekend. We're hopeful for after the weekend.
Yes, I mean, things are still looking like we'll get a break from temperatures and we'll have some rain chances moving in here even this weekend. But yeah, it's going to be, I don't think warm is really describing it well. It's going to be hot this weekend, brutally hot today. As a matter of fact, temperature is going to be peaking today, and that's really going to put a strain, obviously, on the power grid. And it's been strained the past couple of days, but like I said, it's going to be even hotter. We have lots of clear skies out there right now. Heat index is 85. Now, the humidity is actually a little bit lower than what it was at this time yesterday. I mean, still obviously enough to give us those heat index readings up there. 87 is what it feels like at Canyon Lake. Mold and pigweed are both on the low side. The updated count is going to come out about an hour and a half or so. Past couple of days, we had the heat advisories. Now, in much of the area, that's been bumped up to excessive heat warnings from San Antonio, Pleasanton, going up 35 corridor, heading out 10 to the east, and then some heat advisories in parts of the hill country. Now, even though the humidity is going to be low enough in the afternoon, we're not going to have those outrageous heat index readings. It's just going to be plain old hot out there. We will already be up to the normal high temperature today at 11 o'clock this morning. 96 at noon, and we just continue to go up by big steps throughout the rest of the afternoon. We're going to be topping off today at 105. Right around kickoff time for football games tonight, it's still going to be in the low hundreds, so definitely a hot evening. Like I said, small rain chances this weekend. Still hot this weekend, although we'll take little baby steps downward with temperatures. Still going to rack up some triple digits. Then we'll talk about those rain chances and the 90s next week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on? It's been kind of going off and on with incidents here and there.
All week, really, right? Mercury is in retrograde, but let's get a look at what's happening right now at the roadways. Things, thankfully, are a little quiet as we start the 6 a.m. hour. 90 at Meadow Creek, you can see traffic's moving through the east and westbound lanes without any trouble. But remember, there were some issues that were reported earlier. We started off with a pretty busy morning, was quiet for a little while, then picked back up again. So it's quiet right now. We're hoping that it stays that way, but bear this in mind, we are in the 6 a.m. hour. A lot more traffic is expected to take over our roadways, including a lot of that red. But thankfully, from what we're looking at behind me, it's still pretty green. We're not seeing any other issues, just some traffic picking up in some of the usual hot spots. 90 is always going to be an area where we're going to start to see some of that red build up along those eastbound lanes. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Quick look at travel times. If you plan on making your way into the Alamo City this early in the morning, we are still green from Seguin along I-10 westbound with 28 minutes at this hour. It's about a 33-minute drive time if you're heading along 87 northbound from Lavernia. And for our friends down in Floresville, it should be about a 27-minute drive time for you if you plan on hitting the roads and heading here to the Alamo City. But let's get one last look here in town. 410 at Fredericksburg. Again, quiet start in the 6 a.m. hour. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it stays that way. I'll have another update for you coming up in the next 15 minutes. Steph.
Sounds good. Thank you, Stephen. Concern is growing over just how stable the Texas power grid is after so many days of extreme heat.
Yeah, we've definitely felt it. CPS Energy says their Sustainable Tomorrow Energy Plan is helping to save energy usage across San Antonio.
Our Avery Everett wanted to see just how effective the demand response program is with CPS Energy and how customers across the city are finding ways to conserve.
But to be honest, we're probably fearful every single day.
It's a feeling shared by many in San Antonio right now.
Every day we are manning and positioning ourselves to be in a position to respond to different events or triggers that might happen 24/7, 365.
With warnings of the potential for controlled power outages across the state, CPS Energy says it's working overtime to get customers to conserve energy. Its demand response program is a part of that effort.
We use it more and more now than we ever did back then.
The demand response program has three options. A Wi-Fi thermostat rewards program where CPS can control a customer's thermostat during peak demand times. The Power Player program where customers get emails and phone calls to conserve. and the commercial program to cut back energy usage.
When city and county officials sounded the alarm about the potential of controlled outages, I wanted to see just how effective CPS's demand response program was during that time. And they reported that they saved enough power within that program to power 46,000 households. But officials say here at CPS Energy, that's still not enough to cancel out all grid concerns.
We're trying to find a way to engage every customer to get them to save energy.
We're told more than 150,000 thermostats are connected to the Wi-Fi Thermostats Reward Program. But some CPS customers say they haven't even heard of demand response.
Honestly, I never have.
No, ma'am, I have not, honestly.
But they still say they're finding ways to conserve in their own homes.
We are on a budget, so what we do is we try to maintain the electricity, we try to keep the lights off during the day.
It's up to us as a consumer and then up to us as the utility to figure out how we continue to bring that awareness.
The utility says it's a step toward relieving an already stressed power grid. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Topping your morning headlines, the urgent manhunt for a convicted killer in Pennsylvania has dragged into a second week. Danilo Cavalcante has eluded hundreds of law officers since he broke out of prison. Officials say a guard in the observation tower has been placed on administrative leave. Now, prison officials are promising increased security at that facility, including additional surveillance cameras to eliminate blind spots.
And in case you missed this from earlier, from Mike, Hurricane Lee is now a Category 5 storm. However, it's too soon to know if Lee will have any impact on the U.S. mainland. Thursday's update from the National Hurricane Center says the storm has sustained winds of 160 miles per hour, and it took just 24 hours for Lee to go from a Category 1 to a Category 5 hurricane. Top of your morning headlines, crews in Turkey are in day 2 of a life-saving rescue mission thousands of feet underground.
American Mark Dickey, stuck in a cave, has sent a message thanking those working to get him back to the surface.
However, as ABC's Lionel Moisey reports, where he is right now is just one of the problems.
This morning, efforts to save an American trapped deep inside a cave in Turkey are underway, but could take several more days.
It may last as long as 8 days. Now, that was the original estimate, and we're feeling better with Mark's rapid improvement.
Mark Dickey, a scientist from New Jersey, was part of an expedition to map the cave when he suddenly became ill 3,400 feet underground. He developed internal bleeding Saturday, could not eat, and was in desperate need of medical attention. 3 days later, rescuers, including doctors, finally reached him, bringing him 6 pints of blood.
I was very close to the edge.
The 40-year-old, who is still described as very sick, was seen in this video after medical help arrived.
I'm up, I'm alert, I'm talking, but I'm not healed on the inside yet, so I'm going to need a lot of help to get out of here.
Now, Dickey and his rescuers need to make the treacherous journey out of the cave, described as narrow and dangerous, and one of the most difficult cave systems in the world.
It involves crawling through squeezes, turning your body sideways. Then there's water passages. It's muddy, it's wet, it's cold, everything is hard rock. It's exhausting.
Under ideal conditions, it would take about 15 hours to reach the surface. But if he needs to be carried out on a stretcher, it could take up to 2 weeks to lower the stretcher down and bring it back up. Dickey's parents overnight releasing a statement, relieved that the rescue is ongoing, saying our prayers are being answered.
Dickey's team can communicate with people on the surface, but messages take about 5 hours to reach them. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people following that story and pulling for that rescue to take place. All right, it is now 6:09 and 80 degrees on your Friday morning.
Still to come, a big matchup almost here between the UTSA Roadrunners and the Texas State Bobcats. That's happening tomorrow, and what both teams are doing to prepare for the game.
And after the break, we're getting you ready for our big game coverage game of the week, the storyline surrounding tonight's showdown between Sam Houston and Jefferson.
And it will be a hot evening and a hot weekend for football. But however, the one that you're going to tomorrow, that'll be inside the Alamo Dome.
That'll be nice.
That'll be very, very nice. And for all the visitors coming to San Antonio tomorrow. We'll be right back.